Come here now, girl.
Hello and welcome to WhatMap, your one-stop shop for everything workshop. I'm BonBonB and you're very, very welcome. Right, today two maps. The first one riding quite high on the workshop at the moment. It's got a lot of good stuff going about it. If you like lowland maps with farming and fields and islands and estuaries and all of those bits and bobs, this is definitely going to grab your attention. The second map, as voted by the BonBon buddies over on Patreon, it's a nicely framed, I'm going to call it a fantastical style of map, although it's not a true high level fantasy map. It's a map that I think will suit for a lot of players as well. Plus, doesn't have many requirements, which is going to please many of you, so that's good too. But before we have a look at either of these two maps, I've got a daily reminder for you. Come on, let's do it. That's right, if the stern school teacher tells you to do it, then you've got to do it, haven't you? Thank you very much for your support. Right, today's first map is Sant Monticolo, modded map by DivisaoDaJoyce, I think. DivisaoDaJoyce, probably. Anyway, it's a nice one. Okay, there's your start square. That's it's start square. Not too much to say about it really. Lots of flat land on this one. We've got a little bit of undulation hills in places, but very pleasingly done. Strong resources, field painting, but usable field painting, which is very nice. And then if you've got Sunset Harbour and you want to do some fishing, your fishing map is a little bit unexciting, but yeah, it's fun. It can be fun. It will be. We're going to make it fun today, okay? Right, off to the workshop. It's a mass transit map. You will need mass transit for this one. It's a fictitious place based on the Italian region of Veneto. Okay, there is a one-click collection. It is a little bit lengthy. There are a few bits and pieces down here that might overload a few of you, but it's been used fairly well. Now, the detail mod is there. I've had some problems with the detail mod for quite some time, and whenever I have it, I get some glitching. I have enabled it for today's review, but there'll be a little bit of glitching because of it. I'll try and show you as we get to it. Now, there is a Sant Monticolo theme mix, and also the Rosso theme mix is listed. Now, I subscribe to both, and well, I couldn't find the Sant Monticolo theme mix, so I've rolled with the Rosso one as it's there. And that's what we're using today, which also uses the relight to average LUT. But yes, it's a fairly light on networks map, this one. You can see we have the Mass Transit National Road here, and it'll join up with another Mass Transit National Road, and more or less, I mean, not quite, but that's about everything. A little bit of encroaching foliage in a few spots, just a few spots. Another little bit just under there. Mostly there isn't any foliage under the highways, and it's not really anything that's going to bother. Again, we'll cover this several times. I'll mention it virtually every single time. I'll mention it again because it's always somebody's first show. Trees underneath the roads are still counted as still part of the map, and some detailers like to have the trees showing through. For example, grasses under the rails. So if you want to have some sort of like an abandoned rail line, you have to be able to allow for this sort of detailing. And as they are part of the tree count, and there is a limit to the amount of trees you can have on the map, any trees that are hiding under the road are part of the tree counts. Now, it's not really a big problem today. When you load up a map, even with Anarchy, which I have got switched on here, you can switch these off for the loading process, and you can see how few there are, that even if you were going to delete each one of these by hand as you were getting to them, it's not exactly the sort of map that's going to have you sweating and stressing over it. So it's not a problem on today's. What I'm saying eventually gets around to saying it. It's not really a problem on today's map, but I have to mention it that they are there and underneath, and yeah. So there, boom, boom. Anyway, it's We are using Tree Anarchy today. There is quite a large number of trees. I don't remember the exact count. Gonna say not necessarily the most inspiring use of them, especially over areas like, now we've got a nice little mass just underneath us there, which gives us some variation. It's a nice mix of trees and grasses. I think aesthetically it works very well for the map, but on the whole it's uninspiringly done in these large areas. And there are some large areas like the area we just come past, the hills area, and it's just, you know, it's spammed. It's spammed, I think, is a fair word for it. It's not horribly done. It's just there's a little bit of a lack of creativity in the way this has been done. This is your main intersection, your start square intersection, as such. It's a crossroads, and this will lead you down into the start square area. See, we've got some rail here as well leading down to the start square, which will please some people, I'm going to say that. And there's your start area, which is pretty neat. I'm going to point this out as I'm here, and we're not going to come back down here again. There are a few drowned trees. Yes, they've got their trunks on. That's there for the BonBonBingo players. But yes, a few drowned trees in the start square area. Again, how many? Not many. How long is it going to take you to delete them? Not very long at all. Let's not cry over these things, okay? Anyway, I can imagine once you start building a city, there might be a little bit of a tailback of traffic there, but it'll work its way through, and you can fix it pretty quickly. And it is kind of a map that screams out for the 81 tile mod, and it does cover this in the description anyway, so there is that too. There is another national road over here, national road and rail line, just running in this way in case you wanted to come in from this direction instead. Again, that's what the 81 tile mod is there for, if you just want to be creative in the way you do things. There are actually, along this stretch of road here, there are quite a few trees along here. It's almost like the road or the trees were moved. I imagine it was the road that was moved. In fact, you can see we've got a gap on the right here where the road probably was going to live. It's a bit weird. It's a bit weird. But yes, I would say that the road has been moved at some point. And then the trees haven't been moved to account for it. And then that takes us over to this little peninsula. It's quite pretty. It's quite pretty. I'm good with that. That works for me. I like it. And I like the overall shape of the map. It has a lot of little feature areas. Again, without going to the nth degree in doing sort of crazy detailing. Now, a little bit of a grumble here. I know it's supposedly a wet map and flooded areas, but this is perma glitchy flooding, right? I don't mind flooding areas. I don't mind wet areas, but the way that the game renders it, I don't really buy into that as a real thing. So it's a minor knockdown on that one. We've got the same going on along this causeway as well. Just the way that the game is rendering this water. Again, this could work. It just doesn't quite work. I don't mind it like that, but it doesn't quite work like that. Does that make sense? I think so, maybe. The detailing's very nice. We'll talk about the detailing mod in a moment. Sorry, the detail mod in a moment that I'm getting some glitching with. And always have. I don't know. Maybe I'm using it wrong. I'll show you in a minute. But yeah, we've got some nice beach detailing down here. But look a little bit up the beach and you'll see where the lod starts popping in here. This is like boulder. See how it's popping out as we get closer because we're getting the higher definition. Let me just show you actually my mod settings. So the detail mod here, the render distance, I have got maximum. Okay, and I've got a decent PC. Also, the ULOD, the ultimate level of detailing mod. Where is it? We'll find it. It's that. There we go. I've got the props. There we go. Is that 3 kilometers? 3 kilometers, which I think is plenty. Well, we'll move it up to 5 kilometers. Right? And yeah, it's not going to make any difference. If I get rid of the detail mod, this doesn't happen anymore. So maybe if you're getting the same sort of issues, maybe unsubscribing for the detail mod might help with your prop pop-ins like that. Maybe. Okay, down here are the Essential Lighthouse and the old shipwrecks there as well. And the Vanilla Pier. There's a nice little feature area. I don't mind it. I would like, I don't know, a step ladder to be able to get up onto the lighthouse. But it's all good. It's a good shape map. This is the big thing about this map. It's a good shape. Lots of little areas as well. Shall we check the shipping routes? Because it's also a shipping map, isn't it? It clearly is a shipping map. We have a little shipping route here, which is the cat's whiskers. So we have a little look at it. It's like a cat smile, isn't it? There it is. Anyway, there's that. And then over here we have got a potential right angle turn here going on for the shipping coming along and around. Another potential right angle going on there, or even sharper. And that comes up. We've got another one here. There are a lot of pointy bits, especially here. Ships could come in and then go off the edge of the map over there. So yeah, there are a few shipping triangle potentials. It's not bad, but it's not the most polished. Water flow in the start square. You'll see we have got some water flow pushing through here. It's quite strong. So, a lot of coastline as well. So no matter how you want to do this, you can avoid poisoning your population from the start of game, which is a nice little thing. So that's the shipping. Now, we're going to show you a few little bits and bobs. First of all, the farms. I really like this farm area. Now, realism be damned, these aren't real true fields. You can see by the width of the hedges, these aren't hedges, but it's the aesthetics on this map with the way that the fields have been done absolutely works for me, and I think this wins. Okay, it's not polished, like we've got farms which are overlapping, but I don't mind that. I don't mind it. It's okay. Yeah. There are lots of lovely wetland areas here. This is like one of probably my favourite part of the wetland areas on the map is that little bit there. It's been very well done. Very good quality work there. Hills. Okay. It is a bit disinteresting and it's a bit boring. And we have got like the spammed grasses and whatever. I mean, it does work. But like I say, it's just lacking a little bit of an imagination in the way that the grasses and stuff have been done there. But it works. So imagination doesn't really matter that much, does it? Okay, we've got some nice buildable islands over here. Maybe you just want to leave these in the nature reserve. I think I'd be tempted to. But then city build. So you're going to want to absolutely go to town on these areas. Maybe reclaim some more land as well and get an airport out there. We've even got a few little featurette islands over here as well, which have got, we've got a little castle over here. I think the castle works very nicely there, the way that it's been put in there. I think that works very well. We've got a couple of, look, you're going to be buried anywhere. How about on your own private island? A BonBon's burial island, that one. And say we've got one, this good shape. I've got to say there are some very nice shapes, both vertically and two-dimensionally as well on this map. Little island around here. The beaches could be worked a little bit on this particular island. Oh, and trees. Anybody who thinks I don't like trees hanging onto cliff edges, it depends, okay? Like this tree here, this one I buy into. I think this root system would hang on in there. The grasses, however, aren't terrain conforming, and that is floating. But trees hanging onto cliff edges, if I buy into them, I like them. And sometimes I don't like them. And then when I complain about it, people mention that it can happen, and I say yes, and sometimes I like. Anyway, I digress. What do you think of today's first map? Is it a 1-star map? Is it a 5-star map? Is it somewhere in between? Your vote really does count. We use it at the end of the month for the Viewers' Choice Top 10. So use it. Use it. Don't lose it. Help. Okay. Right, so today's first map, Monticolo, or Saint Monticolo, modded map by DivisaoDaJoyce. That's not easy. Any of that's easy for me to say. Aesthetically, do you know what? I like this. I am ashamed to say that I like it, because there's plenty in this that I've seen in other maps that I've not liked, but it works on this one. Yeah, it'd be nice if we had the original theme mix. I don't know where that is, but I definitely don't have it, even though I'm subscribed to it. But given what I see today, I'm going to go for a medium-low 4 stars. Detailing, I want to go 4 stars. I just don't really feel that it shines quite enough, so I'm going to go for a high 3. And for gameplay potential, I want to scream at this one. I'm going to go into the 4th star. I think the shape of the map will grab you. You're going to have some issues with the roads, but you can fix them, and that'll be part of the gameplay. Yeah, 4 stars, low. Don't think I can give a seal of approval because there are some question marks. And we'll come back straight after this with another map. And so on with today's second map, as voted in by the BonBon buddies over on Patreon. A map which kind of feels like real life down at ground level, although from this view it's got kind of a fantastical kind of feel to it. Now, quick heads up, this top-down view, the colour settings are wrong. I'm sorry, I pre-recorded this section with the colours wrong. I've got everything right as we do the flyover, and I'll give you another top-down about midway through the flyover as well, so you can see what it should look like if you really want to see it top-down with the correct settings. I think the biggest problem with this map is that it actually had a name change, which wouldn't normally be a problem, but I think there is a little side issue with the name change on this particular one. The new name for the map is Wolf Estuary, and it's by Rocky Stone, a creator who's also changed their name. The previous name had 5 asterisks in it. I'm not sure what the naughty word was meant to be, but it had asterisks. There's your start square. And the previous name for the map, I think, was called Fairy Realm. Yeah, okay. There's your terrain height. Very buildable map with the mountains around the outside. Very archetypical, strong resources. Very archetypical Cities Skylines style map. You know, flat in the middle, and then it's broken up around the outside. And also with all that lovely water and Sunset Harbour, we have got all of the little fishes as well. Anyway, there's that's what it should look like. It should look more vivid in colours. Also a bit more vanilla-ish in colours as well. There's your description. You also need to subscribe to the Fairyland theme, which isn't linked, and I found it via clicking on Rocky Stone's creator name and going via their workshop. Didn't take me long to find it. But yes, the Fairyland theme, and which I remember as being the Fairy Realm map, but now it's called Wolf Estuary. Rocky is the name of the creator, of course. So yes, the name change means it doesn't align easily with the theme. I'm not going to penalise the theme not being linked, but it would make it much easier than having to click through the creator. The rail off here on the edge of the map, it goes under the trees. I thought I'd show you that as we were down in this neck of the woods. Notice how the highway is clear of trees, but the rail isn't. So it's something that could have been done by the creator. Maybe it was just an afterthought, or just a simple omission, because I think we all miss things from here and there, especially when we're not massively massively experienced creator. Anyway, got to say, this map does have some very nice feels to it, and the mountains in the background, with the vanilla trees. The trees are all vanilla. A little bit of elevated highway going on right here, which isn't really a big problem because we are well away from the buildable areas on what is a vanillable playthrough. Words are still hard. Okay, we're missing a few pillars here. We've seen this a couple of times recently. Again, I think that's probably something like the parallel road tool, which has not been picked up on because the roads are very nicely parallel. So I reckon that tool was used. That may be there are other options are available. Now we're going to need to take a right here to head down towards the start square, but before we take that right, just want to fly on over down the direction. We've got the elevated highway here, a few trees underneath it as well. Again, those trees won't appear because of anarchy and all that sort of stuff. Many times covered that. I'm not going to talk about it in today's show. We follow up. It follows a very nice route up through the mountains. And whilst it looks like it's completely covered in trees, this highway, it is just another small little patch right here, and the rest of it is clear of trees. So it's not as bad as it looks, I promise. Anyway, now we're going back this way. We need to take a left, not a right anymore. We need to take a left to head down towards the start square. Now, a few of you keen spotters will have already noticed that we can't take a left here. It is a right turn only, as was the other direction. So we're at a dead end. Can he go that way? Traffic coming in from that side cannot head towards the start square. Also, we've got a pillar just encroaching onto the highway there as well. The next bit is going to be down to taste. It is a fantastical map, so I guess this long ditch with the highway in it. I mean, submerged highways are a thing, but it's a very long cutting all the way. And we are elevated at ground level, causing the glitching. You'll see the glitching sort itself out on the right-hand side in a few moments. In a 3, 2, 1. There we go. You see how it sort of like it gets that nicer, like chiseled appearance. But that's because we're elevated at ground level rather than anything else really. And we stay in this cutting all the way down to what you're expecting to be the start square. And I was expecting to be the start square, and honestly I would have it as the start square. It's been deliberately not chosen because when you see the start square, it is off center. So the start square has been deliberately chosen by the creator. It's their choice. It's not a bad start square. It's just not the one that I would have gone with, which is here. Now we're going to need to take a left at this intersection. I think you can see what's coming here. But this seems like a really good start location. We could really get rolling here. But again, this isn't the start square. And we've got another one of these intersections, meaning that we couldn't take a left turn if we wanted to anyway at this location, which is why you're not seeing any traffic on the highway on the right hand side. The other thing you won't see on the right hand side down here are some more pillars. Again, this is consistent with previously. I'm suggesting that this is parallel road tool or similar, causing that. It's easily fixable, but it's definitely got to be pointed out. This is your start square right here. Now, we don't actually have an intersection here, so you're going to have to spend your own vanilla money. Yeah, because this does feel like it's meant to be a vanilla Let's Play. And so it's missing it. A highway would be beneficial, I feel. Also, I see a cruiser coming here. Let's just check for shipping clipping. This does look high enough though, doesn't it? This really does. Yeah, there's no shipping clipping, so credit and kudos for that, for getting that high enough to work under. The rail heads up through the valley up that way. We won't follow that. We won't. Once we get away from 25 tiles, it doesn't quite matter so much if rail doesn't follow a nice smooth route. And it's not too bad. Here, I wouldn't have had the highway run up to... Oh, mind you, we could be taking a bridge. Would you bridge that? If it's to match the other bridges, it's going to need to get a bit of height to allow for the shipping to go under. It is doable. You could do that smoothly from that point. But, yeah, maybe that's meant to be to inspire us to build a bridge across there, possibly. The route up through the valley, again, no trees under the road up that way, through the hills. That's very good. That's very, very good indeed. And all told, here's the colours that we were supposed to be looking at the start of the map review, like that. That's how it meant to be. Okay, right. I apologise, Rocky. I apologise. It was, in fact, I've had to re-record the entire show because I managed to record the entire. Look at the buildable space, though. Not perfectly flat, but definitely smoothly playable. Also, this ditch. Hang on, I'll digress a moment. This ditch is a defensive ditch, right? Where you're not defending an attack coming from over the cliff, so you're going to be defending from coming up the hill. Does that mean that there was a base right on this cliff edge at one point? Is that what the story is there? It's a little bit unusual. But yes, so yeah, I've recorded this with the wrong visual settings and I had to re-record the entire flyover, and whilst recording the flyover, still forgot to record the top-down views for you at the start of the flyover. I'm not going to load the map up a third time for that. But loads of buildable space, loads of interesting shapes to work around, and a strong, if slightly flawed, intersection highway system to work with. The hills are great shape. I have one minor personal grumble. This is a personal thing. Yeah, please let me know in the comments if you disagree, because I do like to learn from you guys. But I find that the knobbly brush effect is just a little bit overdone down here. It just looks a little bit consistent and repetitive. It's not quite like I'm just seeing a repeating pattern with props. But I can see a bit of a repeating pattern in the texture of the mottling, I guess, of the mountains. The rivers are very good as well. They're kind of a little bit gouged. You can see a little bit of cliff edge along a lot of the shores, but the shoreline along here, this is very nice. It's very rugged down this area, so a rugged shoreline makes sense. Now, you're going to wonder what you're looking at. You come to have a look at this lake. I haven't come to look at this lake at all. I've come down here to sing. What sort of song would I be singing? Well, clearly there's only one song, the number one in the chart this week. It's everybody's favourite factory. Yeah, it's an unusual location for a factory, I've got to say. I don't have a big problem. Sirens to the BonBonBingo players coming past around about now. That's a fire engine. Ooh, it's usually an ambulance. Anyway, over here we've got a couple little islands in this lake, each with a little folly tower on them, which are pretty neat. We've got the vanilla pier there as well, which is, I guess, for fishing, I guess. And then heading up here, we've got a slightly fantastical waterfall, which has been done pretty well. I got to say, I've seen waterfalls I hate, and this isn't one of them. I don't think it's my favourite waterfall of all time, but I like that enough to say, yep. Got one little water flow issue down here at the bottom on our right now, where it's just not quite making it over the edge. So it can be worked a little bit more to make it just a little bit more glorious. It's nice. It's nice. It's just a little bit, tiny weeny little bit flawed there. The Central Lighthouse, isn't she lovely? And beaches. Some strong beaches on this map. And the theme, I've got the theme, the Fairyland theme, is very nice for this striking cliff edges and some very nice beaches. We've got an eye looking at us. Here's looking at you, kid. There. The eyes have it. Or do they? Oh, hang on there. The vote is coming later. Right, okay, let's have a look at this. I don't know if somebody's sending me a message here. If you are fluent in Chinese, let me know if this, I think it's meant to be this way up if it is Chinese. This looks like Chinese text to me. It's probably saying, subscribe to this channel. Hint, hint. Or it's saying, hey BonBon, don't you dare review this map. That's more likely. Anyway, it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. There was also a bit of a screaming face there with the lakes and the lagoon. You may have spotted that one. If you did, well done. I saw it too, but I didn't think it was worthy a shout out. Anyway, what do you think of today's second map? Is it a 1-star map? Is it a 5-star map? Is it somewhere in between? Your vote really does count. We use it at the end of the month for the Viewer's Choice Top 10. Will this be one of the top 10 maps of the month? Only you can decide. Hit the I button now or the link in the description. We'll take you to the voting page where you can vote for free, but make sure you're voting on the correct map. Right, okay, what do I think of today's second map? Well, striking, I think it scores equally with the wrong theme and with this vibrant theme. I've seen it with both. Believe me, I've done flyovers with both. And I think it's very nice with both. I don't think it's quite 4 stars with either, but in both cases, I like it enough to say it's almost, and I'm happy with both. So, high 3. Detailing. Oh, dearie, dearie, dear. I'm liking the shapes. I'm liking the styles. I'm then seeing little just like issues, and there's not really anything to take it to the next level. And we've got missing pillars on the bridges and stuff like that. I'm going to go just slightly above middle 3. I'm liking some of the tree painting quite a bit. Anyway, as for gameplay potential, I haven't mentioned it until now, but many of you will have seen that we've got mass transit roads in there. Without mass transit, this map will be broken, therefore I have to give it 1 star. But Wolf Estuary by Rocky Stone is, if you got mass transit, is not a broken map, is a very nice map, and will probably just edge with working intersections into 4 stars. Without working intersections properly working, it would be middle 3. So for me, that's a middle 3 map. Mass transit makes it 1 star. Fix the intersections, probably into 4. It's little things like that can make all of the difference. But you get what you deserve, and unfortunately, 1 star today. I hate doing it. But what do you deserve to do to yourself today? I know you deserve to use the word of the day in the comments. Use it now. Prove you're part of the 20 Now Elite, and I'll be back tomorrow. Oh no, I'll be back on Friday. See you then.